Some singers make a band sound better. These singers made their band sound unmistakable. They missed notes, mangled vowels, whined through choruses, and occasionally sounded like they were losing an argument with the microphone. Yet behind them were brilliant guitarists, monster rhythm sections, and musicians capable of playing almost anything. Here's the strange part. Replace any of these vocalists with a technically perfect singer, and the band might actually get worse. At number 1 is a frontman surrounded by so much talent that he reportedly joked the band should be renamed Idiot and the Three Geniuses. But first, the singer who turned one ordinary word into an entire accent. Number 10, Tom DeLonge, Blink-182. Tom DeLonge didn't just sing with a nasal voice. He appeared to be inventing new vowels in real time. By the end of the 90s, Blink-182 had Travis Barker behind the drums, a human firework display who could transform basic pop-punk into something explosive. Mark Hoppus supplied the steadier voice, bass lines, and some of the band's sharpest hooks. Then Tom arrived, sounding like a teenager yelling through a bedroom wall. Listen closely to early songs like Damn It, and his voice is rougher and less cartoonish than it later became. But even then, perfect pitch was not exactly the attraction. The attraction was personality. Blink-182 with a polished arena rock vocalist would have sounded completely wrong. Tom's voice carried the awkwardness, immaturity, and panic that made the band connect with millions of teenagers. Technically questionable? Absolutely. Replaceable? Not even close. Number 9. Stephen Malkmus, Pavement. Stephen Malkmus often sang as if committing to the melody would be deeply embarrassing. Words trailed off. Notes bent sideways. Entire lines sounded like first takes that nobody bothered to correct. But that carelessness was part of Pavement's design. Underneath it were strange tunings, fractured guitar parts, unexpected structures, and melodies far smarter than the band pretended they were. Malkmus wasn't struggling to become a traditional rock singer. He was rejecting the job description. A bigger voice might have exposed the songs too much. Pavement needed someone who sounded like he had discovered the microphone 5 seconds before recording began. It was anti-singing, and somehow it worked. Number 8, Isaac Brock, Modest Mouse. Isaac Brock doesn't merely sing a lyric. He chews it, argues with it, and occasionally launches it across the room. Early Modest Mouse songs moved from whispered paranoia to frantic yelping without warning. Brock's lisp, cracked notes, and sudden barks made him one of indie rock's most chaotic vocalists. But listen beyond the commotion. His guitar lines could be intricate and hypnotic. Jeremiah Green was a remarkably inventive drummer, and Eric Judy's bass gave the songs room to wander without falling apart. Brock's voice was the unstable element sitting on top of that control. A cleaner vocalist could have sung the notes more beautifully, but probably couldn't have made the loneliness sound as real. Number 7, J Mascis, Dinosaur Jr. J Mascis plays guitar like the building is burning. Then he sings like he has just woken up from a nap. Jr. Mascis became one of alternative rock's most respected guitarists, burying melodic songs beneath distortion, feedback, and solos large enough to belong in an entirely different genre. His voice, however, is a weary drawl that sometimes seems barely interested in reaching the next note. And that is precisely why it fits. A muscular hard rock singer would have competed with the guitar. Mascis sounds small underneath it. Tired, vulnerable, and strangely human. The guitar creates the storm. His voice is the person stuck outside in it. Number 6. Coyne, The Flaming Lips. The Flaming Lips sounded as if a group of studio scientists had been given instruments instead of laboratory equipment. Ronald Jones created bizarre guitar textures. Stephen Draws became the band's multi-instrumental engine. By 1999's The Soft Bulletin, the group was constructing enormous psychedelic arrangements from drums, orchestration, noise, and pop melody. At the center stood Coyne, singing like every note had been balanced on a wobbly chair. His thin voice could crack, drift, and struggle badly in concert. But on a song like Waitin' for a Superman, that weakness became emotional power. Coyne didn't sound like a superhero delivering the message. He sounded like someone who desperately needed the superhero to arrive. Number 5. Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit became an easy punchline, but the musicianship was never the funniest part. Wes Borland used strange tunings, effects, silence, and heavy riffs without playing like a standard metal guitarist. Bassist Sam Rivers and drummer John Otto brought genuine funk to a genre that often treated rhythm like a blunt object. And then Fred Durst started yelling. Durst had a limited collection of weapons, whispering, rapping, whining, and sounding personally offended by the existence of another human being. But he understood hooks and crowd psychology. He knew exactly when Borland's riff needed space, and exactly when to crash into it with a phrase thousands of angry teenagers could shout. He wasn't the band's best musician. He may have been its most effective salesman. Number 4. Billy Corgan, The Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan complicates this entire list because he was both the questionable singer and the musical mastermind. James E. Ha contributed guitar, and Jimmy Chamberlin was an extraordinary drummer, but Corgan wrote most of the material, shaped the arrangements, and recorded much of the guitar and bass on Siamese Dream himself. Then he placed that voice on top of it, thin, piercing, nasal enough to cut through several dozen guitar overdubs. Corgan could sound tender on Disarm, dreamy on 1979, and furious on Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Whether he sounded pleasant was another question, but his voice accomplished something a smoother singer might not have. It made gigantic music feel like it came from one wounded, uncomfortable person. Number 3. Ian Brown, The Stone Roses. The Stone Roses had John Squire painting psychedelic colors with his guitar, Manny creating melodic bass lines, and Rennie playing drums with a fluidity that helped turn rock songs into dance music. Then there was Ian Brown. On record, Brown's relaxed voice gave the band its cool, untouchable confidence. Live, that relaxation sometimes became a search party for the correct note. His off-key performances have become part of Stone Roses' history, with even devoted fans admitting that pitch was never his greatest concern. But Brown supplied something technique couldn't manufacture: attitude. He sounded as if the Stone Roses were already the greatest band in the world, and your approval was completely unnecessary. Number 2. Dave Mustaine, Megadeth. Megadeth could perform musical geometry at highway speed. Dave Mustaine wrote viciously complicated riffs. Marty Friedman added brilliantly unusual solos. Nick Menza and David Ellefson formed the classic-era rhythm section that helped make Rust in Peace a technical metal landmark. And then Mustaine sang like a cartoon villain, announcing an unusually complicated revenge plan. The voice was nasal, snarling, theatrical, and almost impossible to separate from the man's personality. Even Mustaine has acknowledged that vocals were never Megadeth's strongest department. Yet imagine sweating bullets, delivered by a polished metal tenor. It might be more impressive. It would also be far less Megadeth. Number 1. Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Anthony Kiedis may be rock's greatest example of being completely outgunned by your own band. Flea became one of the most recognizable bassists alive. John Frusciante developed into a deeply expressive guitarist. Chad Smith could hit with enormous power while keeping the funk loose and alive. Kiedis couldn't even play an instrument. According to Flea, Kiedis once felt so insecure beside them that he suggested a new band name, Idiot and the Three Geniuses. His early solution was rhythm. He rapped, chanted, and bounced between the instruments. With the birds that shed this lonely view. But once the Chili Peppers began writing vulnerable melodic songs, there was nowhere to hide. His limited range and unstable live pitch became obvious. And still, Under the Bridge works. Not because Kiedis sings it perfectly, but because he doesn't. Well, I'll never wanna feel like I did that day. The uncertainty makes it sound personal, like a confession from someone who was never supposed to sing a ballad that big. That is the paradox connecting everyone on this list. A flawless voice can impress you, but sometimes the wrong voice is the only one that feels right. Which singer did we miss, and which one would you defend with your life?